Hi, this is Tabiso Kalashwayo. Can you please help me with these questions here? These that other one.
This is a question that is based on bivariate data, guys. In stats, you've got ungrouped data, you've got grouped data, and you've got what we do in grade 12 called bivariate data, where we're comparing two variables. And this is basically what this question is based on. This is where you are required to draw a scatter plot with dots and crosses everywhere, and then you might be required to draw the line of best fit and those kinds of things. So there's a lot of questions that always follow suit, of course, after the opening statement and the table that is currently given that we're going to look at now. So I want to encourage you to do the following. Before you even look at the follow-up questions, just take your calculator and retrieve what I call the 7 parameters of regression. You will only touch your calculator once and you will never ever need to go back to it and then return all those values that you might get there. So just take this calculator of yours, insert the data that you're given, and retrieve the important features and then use them to answer the follow-up questions. So now let's jump right into this question and see how we can actually retrieve those 7 parameters that I'm talking about. You'll notice that more often than not, all the answers are basically appearing in those 7 parameters that I'm actually claiming right now. All right, so according to this question, we are told that an IT company writes programs for apps. The time taken in hours to write the programs and the cost in thousands of rands are shown in the table below. All right. Now, the first question that we need to deal with here, before I even look at the questions, I normally want to insert all this information in the calculator and then get my 7 parameters of regression. But then let's move on and see what the questions are. The first question wants us to determine the equation of least squares regression line. So this is the line of best fit. All right. So now let's get the calculator and then you go to stats, guys. You go to stats, you press mode, you select stats. Don't select option 1 because this is what you use for ungrouped data when you're dealing with univariate data. This one is bivariate, so you have to select option 2, and then you'll see one column has got X, one column has got Y. So the first number is 5, enter, and then you've got 7, and then you've got 5 again, and then after that there's 8, enter, and then 10 equal to, and then 13, and then you've got 15, and then after that there's 20, after 20 you'll get 18, after 18 you'll get 25, and then after that you'll get 23, and then you can clearly see that we've got 11 scores in total. Then you go back up again to try and write the corresponding values. The first number is 10, right? 10, right? And then you're gonna get another 10 value, right? And then you're gonna get 15, and then you're going to get 12, and then you're going to get 20, and then you're going to get 25, and then you're going to get 28 right there, and then there's 32. After that there's going to be 25, and then the next one is going to be 40, and the last value there comes out as 30, right? Okay, cool. So those are the values that will be given in the table for cost in thousands of rands, as well as the time taken in hours. Absolutely interesting. Now, once you press the AC button and then you press shift, you press the button 1, which is where your stats values are, you will notice that there's a new value appearing there in option 5, which is REG for regression. That's where you want to be. Press that. You'll see your A and your B and your R appearing there. We need all those values, guys. We need the A value, we need the B value, and we also need the R value. So your A value is what you will get when you select option 1, and then it comes out as 4,88, right? So 4,88 is our A value. Okay, I'm gonna write that here. Is 4,88, right? And then we also need B, and then we also need the value of R, because that's what you get under the REG button. Let's go and check out what will happen here. Again, shift, stats, regression, which is option 5, and then B is number 2. You press equality, you get 1.297, which can be rounded off to 1.30. So 1.30. And then we go to the R value, guys. The R value, press AC, shift, stats, and then you go to regression again, option 3. That's the correlation coefficient. If you haven't heard anybody talk about it, it's giving us a value of 0.94, so that is going to be 0.94. Now I encourage you to get the mean value of the X and the mean value of the Y values. This is going to be useful when you have to draw your line of best fit, because your line of best fit must pass through the point where X bar and Y bar meet, right? So the solution to the first question, the equation of least squares regression line, quite easy. It has got the format y is a plus bx, right? Which means it's going to be y is 4.88 plus 1.30x. Absolutely easy and not complicated at all. Right, the next part now says use the equation of least squares regression line to predict the cost in rent of an app that will take 16 hours. So the equation is y equals to, let's go back and check it out again. Right, the equation is actually 4.88. Right, so it's 4.88 plus 1.30x. Now we are told what the value of x is. In this case, we are told that it's 16 hours. That's your x. You're just simply going to substitute for that. So it's 4.88 plus 1.30 multiplied by 16. And then you just use your calculator to figure out what the solution is going to be there. 4.88 plus 1.30 into 16, and then you close brackets, press the equality sign. It gives you 25.68. So that's 25.68. And remember, our money here in this case is in thousands of rent, and the question says in rent. So if you look at what we are looking at here, you can just simply multiply it by 1,000, or you could actually provide the answer in two ways and get an answer here in thousands of rent. Alternatively, you can just say it's going to be 25.68 thousands, right? Thousands, right? Very important for you to do this. You could do this, or you can just multiply that value by 1,000. Remember that the original information that was given to us was in thousands of rents. It wasn't just the 25s and the 10s and that we're using, the 15s. There were thousands in total. The last part of this question is the easiest of all of them. We are asked to calculate the correlation coefficient for the data. The correlation coefficient is just R. So you have already worked out what R is from our 7 parameters. You can go back again and look at it under regression. It's option 3. Once you press the equality sign, you get 0.94. Right, so it's 0.94. This is the correlation coefficient of this particular data. Normally, I would want you to get those 7 values there. You must get the mean of the x values and the mean of the y values. And when you have to draw the scatter plot, that point will be very useful because your line of best fit must pass through that particular x bar and y bar value. So in this case, we're not required to draw anything. We're just required to answer questions based on what was going on here. I hope you guys saw what was going on there. So somebody was asking me the other day, why do I always like retrieving all these 7 things? Just for argument's sake, if I had to do the scatter plot, right, your scatter plot will probably look something like you always have those dots lying around everywhere. The examiner is interested in seeing that you either have a y-intercept and the mean of x's as well as the means of y's. When you have this, then you can join, and then once it's passing through that point, everything else will be absolutely useful, and then we'll be happy to give you all the marks.